Week 2 of the 2026 college football season is on the horizon. It's Feel Good Friday, September 5th, 2025, and I'm feeling good about this matchup at Cal Field come Saturday. It's the Aggies versus the Aggies, A&M versus Utah State. Howdy, howdy, fans of the 12th man. Welcome into the Above the L podcast. I'm Weston Pope. Guys, we did it last week, and we'll continue as long as we can. This is the Utah State preview episode. I'll break down my thoughts on how the game will go and, of course, give my prediction. Thank you for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the insight and the content that I give. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. I want to give a quick recap of the A&M versus UTSA game last Saturday. Overall, as a team, whether offense, defense, special teams, all of it combined, I gave A&M a B grade. I think the offense looked nice. I think they looked consistent more than we've seen in the past. Special teams was really clean. In fact, to open up scoring for A&M, Concepcion had the 80-yard touchdown, punt return touchdown. So that kicked things off for them. That was really nice to see. I believe the last A&M player to do that was Christian Kirk in 2015. So making a little history there. Defensively, I think they started slow but ended well. Kind of found their groove in the second half with some adjustments. But yeah, I think what they allowed was a little bit unacceptable, at least in my opinion. But I think it's things that can get cleaned up. Sounds like per Mike Elko, it was some missed run fits. So hopefully they will get cleaned up before Saturday gets here. In fact, the 75-yard run by Henry right out of halftime. Sounds like there were a couple new guys in on defense, and they just weren't in the right position, didn't understand the call. So hopefully we can see some progress on that side of the ball. But overall, I thought it was a good showing, good outing for week 1. There's going to be mistakes, got to knock the rust off a little bit. So hopefully this will be a little bit of a cleanup game before week 3 arrives. So as far as Utah State goes, this is only the second time that A&M and Utah State have played. Last time was 2009 at Cal Field. A&M managed to kind of squeak by with a 38-30 win. For Utah State, they had a pretty successful outing against the University of Texas, El Paso. That'd be UTEP. Utah State ended up winning 28-16. They got quarterback Bryson Barnes, kind of a solid veteran for Utah State. And I think he should be able to stretch the ball a little bit and stretch the field. So he threw for 233 yards against UTEP and then also had one run-in touchdown. So look for him to kind of get open in space a little bit, kind of stretch things, and I see them move in the pocket, especially with what they have there on their offensive line. Running back Miles Davis for Utah State had 88 yards on the ground and 61 receiving. I expect him to be a large part of their offense, obviously. UTSA, the Roadrunners, were able to in fact, Henry, the running back for UTSA, was able to run for 177 yards on A&M. He had a phenomenal night. I think, as we all knew going into that game, Robert Henry, he's a really talented back. Could see some playing time on Sundays in the future. So yeah, he was a big part of their offense, and I see Utah State maybe trying to replicate the same thing pressing on A&M's defense to get Davis and Barnes on the move a little bit for those guys. However, Utah State, as I said, they have all new offensive linemen, so I expect A&M to kind of take advantage of that like UTEP did. I didn't actually watch the UTEP and Utah State game last Saturday, but it sounds like UTEP kind of lived in Utah State's backfield a little bit, put a lot of pressure on Barnes, and I expect A&M to do kind of the same thing. They were able to get some good pressure on McCown for against UTSA, but I expect them to take even a step further. I think we need to see a little bit of a step forward and progress on that side. Defensively for Utah State, they are returning only 3 of their top 13 tacklers from last year. A little bit depleted on that side of the ball. Sounds like they brought in some transfers. But I think they'll, similar to what UTSA kind of game planned defensively, I think Utah State will be selling out for the run. If you go back and watch that film of the A&M game last Saturday, you'll see UTSA, they stacked the box a lot. They sold out for the run. They basically were telling A&M, hey, if you're going to win this game, we want you to throw it on us. So fortunately, that's what A&M was able to do. But yeah, UTSA, they stacked the box, and I think that's why we saw a little bit of limited running back activity. So yeah, for A&M, this game, I think simple at the end of the day, it's a cleanup game, especially before week 3 where they make the trip to South Bend, Indiana to face the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Yeah, defensively for A&M, I think they need to start faster. But they started relatively well, not relatively. They started really slow. Really took them a whole half to get going, kind of get in the groove. But yeah, they need to clean up their run fit issues, take control early, and then get some more pressure on the quarterback. As I said, they were able to do that on McCown, and we were able to see him under pressure a little bit. But I think we need to see a little bit more, and we weren't able to really force any turnovers against the Roadrunners. So hopefully that'll be something that I'm looking for against Utah State is, can this A&M defense get turnovers? They had a couple opportunities last Saturday. I believe there was a bad snap or a fumbled snap by McCown. I think there was another fumble, maybe by I believe it was by Henry, but A&M wasn't able to recover either of those. So UTSA kept possession, but it would be nice to just to see this A&M defense take another step forward, take another leap, force some turnovers. In fact, I'd like to see even an interception from the secondary. I don't think the secondary really got tested all that much, at least not as much as I expected him to. I kind of thought McCown would be slinging it around a little bit more than he did, but the secondary, they look sharp. I thought they looked good. They, for a week 1 game. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of them, and even possibly a turnover for their side. So offensively, I don't know that we're going to see a lot more running from A&M. I know people are itching to see that running back room, and but I think we need to see a little bit more from the running backs. It was so limited last game, and obviously I'm not a game planner or offensive coordinator, but I expect maybe there to be a little more activity in the backfield, maybe some more run plays. But once again, I don't expect Le'Veon Moss to get a ton of reps, and I think we'll see a lot of Reuben Owens again, and Amari Daniels. EJ Smith had a really good game. Sounds like there was a lot of talk around him this week in the program, and just his effort on the field. He most notably had really inspiring effort for Concepcion's 80-yard punt return touchdown. You could see him kind of paving the way, and yeah, just really inspiring. And I think that's what this weekend needs to be, is just some inspiring football for A&M, both offensively and defensively. I think it's another big game for Marcel and Concepcion and Craver. I think it's a big opportunity for Marcel just to get more comfortable. I thought he looked really comfortable in the last Saturday, and hopefully his comfortability will grow this weekend, and that trust will flourish between quarterback and his offensive line. And speaking of the offensive line, I thought their pass blocking looked really strong. That was probably their strongest outing that they've had in a long time. I think it'd be good to see some continuity there. Obviously, you can only take away so much from a week 1 game, but I think they looked really good. And pass blocking, run blocking, kind of a different story. They look decent at times, but more often than not, it seemed like they struggled a little bit. So I know it can be a little bit more difficult in run blocking schemes. So hopefully we'll see some improvement there this week. And then Utah State, A&M ran they ran a bubble screen a couple times last game. In fact, one of them they scored on with Mario Craver, and I think Utah State will probably be ready for the bubble screen, and I'm interested to see how A&M will adjust. Kind of if we'll see any more creativity on that side. I know you don't want to dump the playbook right before Notre Dame, but I'll be interested to see Utah State. Obviously they have some film, and they were able to, I'm sure, prepare a little bit for what A&M was able to do last Saturday. So interested to see how A&M makes adjustments. And like I said, I think Utah State will once again be stacking the box and kind of selling out for the run and force A&M to get into some passing situations. So yeah, I hope A&M gets off to a fast start on both sides. I think they need it. And yeah, especially before we're sitting here a week from now talking about them going into South Bend and hopefully walking away with the win. Leads me into my final score prediction for this game. I got 45-10 A&M. I think, like I said, this is a cleanup game for them. Hopefully they will be firing on all cylinders and they'll feel good going into next week. And I think that's what needs to happen because it's going to be a really tough test come week 3. Guys, that's really all that I have. You guys, I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. I appreciate the love. If you know me personally, feel free to reach out. I love talking ball. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Gig 'em.